All right, welcome back for another video. In this video, we are going to go through tutorial number 4. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I did, of course, was opened a new part drawing, and we're going to start a sketch. And I'm just going to start this on the XY plane. Again, for this one here, as is in past videos, we are not assembling these parts, so it's not critical necessarily what plane we create them on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of do a rough sketch of this. And it looks like it's 1 3/4 high. So I try to get it kind of close to how big it is, just so there's not too drastic of a change when I go and apply dimensions. Okay. You notice I purposely offset these, and that's because they are offset. If I had them in line, they would actually lock in line, and then it's sometimes a pain in the butt to get them out of line. So I automatically just make sure that the profile is about as correct as I can make it. So 1.75. This one is 3.25. These are 0.5. This is 2.0, and I believe this is 0.5 as well. This is 0.75 high, and I believe, whoops, dimension, get this here, 0.5, I think, yes. All right, so we are fully constrained. All right, so I'm going to hit finish, and I'm going to extrude this, and I'm going to do a symmetric, this is kind of biplane. In this case, it looks like we're extruding at 2.5 inches, and I think they're doing the same thing here by the appearance of the book. So they are also doing a mid-plane extrude as well. All right, so I'm going to extrude this 2.5 inches. Oops, I didn't do my mid-plane. There we go. Change that to mid-plane. Okay, so there is my base solid. So I'm going to name that. Base extrude. And next, I believe we're going to be putting an arc on there. And yes, we are. So I'm going to right click or left click on the bottom face. We're going to do a sketch on there. I'm just going to rotate that because I prefer it to be like this. All right, so to avoid constraining this as little as possible, I'm going to snap it to the midpoint, and I'm also going to snap it to the corner. And you can see there that that should be fully constrained. Let me go back in there quick. Fully constrained. All right, so finish, and we're going to extrude that. As you can see, it's going the wrong direction. So I'm just going to go the opposite direction, and I'm going to go to next, check. Okay, and there we go. And we've got a good extrusion. All right, next. All right, so next it looks like it's having us create or alter a dimension. So let me name this first, and I'm just going to call this the semicircle. And we're going to go back into our sketch here. And actually, I'm going to right click and say show dimensions. Okay, so we have our 3.25, and it's telling us to change that to 3.0. So let's change it to 3.0. Enter. And it's also telling us to change the 2.5 to 2.0. Oh, I see. So, it's saying the 2.5 to 2.0. I'm not sure where we have a 2.5 dimension. I think it's the width. 2.0. Enter. All right. And let's do a so let's take a look at that base extrude now. So now it's 2, and of course our part got shorter as well. So if I go into the sketch, there's our 3 inches. So it's just another way of editing the sketch and the feature without actually going into the sketch. Okay, so with our part edited, let's go. Oh, and sometimes it actually has you update these. So this update button is telling you how to, basically telling the whole thing to regenerate. But usually they regenerate on their own. All right, so this one here, we're going to use the hole feature, which I showed you in our last class. And we are going to do a 0.75 diameter hole. So I'm going to do a hole, none, 0.75. And I am going to go to my sketch, and we're going to constrain this thing. Now, one of the things that kind of sucks about this is you can't use your concentric command to constrain it. So you have to dimension this thing. All right, accidentally put another hole there. And there we go. So we have our hole feature created correctly. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a cut through this face. So I'm going to pick that face. And for this, let's see what they have you do. Okay, so they do have you do a rectangular cut. So I'm just going to pick my rectangle, and I'm going to make sure I pick that line so it snaps. And we're going to do a 1.0 by 0.75, and it is 0.5 locationally. Fully constrained, finish sketch, extrude. In this case, I'm going to go through all and reverse that and hit check. You can see there is my feature. All right. Okay, so with all of that done, the next thing it's going to have you do is, looks like we're editing a sketch, and we're adding a fillet to this corner. So we can come in, double click on this sketch. Whoops, wrong sketch. Finish sketch. Let me name these quick. 0.75 hole. Square cut. Go to our base, and we need to add a fillet, which is right here, as a 0.25 fillet. 0.25, finish, and there we go. Okay, so moving on, the next thing we are going to do is we're going to make this aluminum, and it appears that they want us to choose 6061. So we're going to go to our eye properties. If I can manage to click it. Physical, material, aluminum, they're in alphabetical order, 6061, apply, okay. All right, so we have all of the properties applied. Then it has you change it over to cast iron after that. I'm just going to leave it aluminum for now. I can change it up here as well to cast iron. And there we are. So that is all there is to this. The only other thing that I might show you here, I'd like to show you, is if I go back in here to sketch, and let's just say I get rid of, well, no, I don't want to get rid of that. I'm just going to undo it. Okay, so I'm going to finish sketch. Let's take it back to cast iron again. The other way you can add a radius is to do it in the solids, the 3D model menu. We could add a fillet here, 0.25, and I could select that corner and apply. Now that creates another operation for us. So we don't always like to do that. It's probably easier just to do it in the sketch. It's probably better to do it in the sketch. But if you get in a jam, it's an easy way to put a fillet on something. So that's all for this video. If you have any questions, as always, you can see me during my office hours, or of course, you can see me during class.